Sprout, you are not a man. Get away from your half-sisters. Do not be sniffing them and making little buck noises. They are too young, okay? Yeah, Bella, get after him. He doesn't need to be nasty yet. Little Nigerian dwarf bucklings. I love you to death, Sprout, but you're nasty. You're nasty, and you're just gonna get nastier. I talked about the fact that I'm gonna have to put a buck apron on Sprout soon, like probably 2 more weeks, so that he doesn't breed his mom or his aunts, or if one of my doelings starts cycling early, one of them, and that's super dangerous. And a lot of you asked what the difference between regular, like surgical castration is and banding. I'd say banding is pretty common in goats and cattle, which is where, and like I've talked about before with the vets and without, that waiting until their urinary tract is mature is very important. And so we band our goats after 3 months. So I believe Rebecca banded hers at like 4 or 5 months. And then Elena, who got a buckling from me last year, she surgically castrated. So they did both ways. Okay, well, your mom and aunt are having a little thing over here, okay? Yeah, just, they're sisters. They'll get through it. So you don't have to wait for the things to drop on bucklings. They're there. They're there from birth. So banding is when you basically restrict circulation. So you band them, you put a very tight band at the top of the testicles, make sure that both are in there, and then over time the circulation stops, and so they will shrivel up and then fall off. Now you have to do it correctly. You have to get up high enough. You have to, like, there's ways you need to do it. So, contact your veterinarian if you've never done it, or talk to some farmers, things like that, okay? So surgical castration is where you will actually cut open the scrotum, the ball sack, remove the testicle. So you do that, and then they heal up. You let them drain for a couple days. You watch them for infection, things like that. Neither one is incorrect, but they're just different depending on what you need. Surgical castration is needed if the testicles have not dropped, because you're gonna have to actually make an incision and go up and get the testicle out. Banding, you have to have them both dropped. I think there's another method that I've never used where there's like a cord that you crush. I don't even know about it to be able to tell you about it, but I know that there is a third option. I will say banding is generally something that a farmer, a breeder, an owner can do themselves. Again, you need to make sure you're doing it properly. And then surgical castration, we will do it for ourselves with our cattle, but that's because my dad's been doing it for 30 years. Generally, surgical castration is something that a veterinarian needs to do it properly. So yeah, fun things ahead for these boys, because they're all getting a little too humpy for my liking. But anyway, these girls have been having a fight this entire time.